Hiya, Mel the Train Tutor here again with the second part of the How to Build Ruins Out of Foamboard series. And in the first part, I'll throw a link up to it right now, what we did is we looked at how to do plans and then do your broad cuts and get the major pieces together. And in this section, what we're going to be doing is going a little bit more in details and going from our plans onto our foam board. Now, if you remember from the first video, here we've got the facade of the front building. Okay, so 3 separate walls. This one's going to be recessed. Okay, and then what I've done is, let me just show you, make sure you can see that nice and clearly. Yeah, is I've basically mapped them out. Now what I want to do is with the door, I'll show you, this is a very simple process, and so what I'll do is I'll show you with the door what we're basically doing here. You'll also notice that there's some damage here and here, but on my plans, okay, there's no damage there. Okay, which is there. So we're going to put that in a minute. So first, let's do this door. Okay, now there's a couple of things, yeah, before we go into it. The door is 1.5 inches wide. I'm going on that inner arch, by the way, not the outer one. I was playing around with different things. So 1.5 inches across the middle, 2 3/4 inches up. Yeah, and then at the sides it runs straight for 1 3/4 inches. Okay, so I'm going to put that there for me so I can see that as I'm doing my work. And sorry about this, guys, but I don't think I can do this upside down, to be perfectly honest. Let's give it a go. Can you see anything? You couldn't see anything anyway. So Lego block, yeah, so I can shore up the sides. Yeah, the next thing I need is one of these beauties, which is a square, right angle, and all I'm going to do is get my pencil, and because I know this is perfectly flat and I've covered this in other videos, I need to go up at the sides 1 3/4 inches, which is to there. Yeah, okay, if I go across to the other side, and I've already measured the center of this out in this middle measurement, guys, so I know where I'm going up. So 1 3/4 inches there. Okay, now that leaves us with the middle bit. Okay, and I could do this. I go up, and it's supposed to be 2 3/4, so it's up here. Yeah, and I'll just put a little mark there because that's the center of the arch. So you can see where I've got my 2 lines that I've just gone up, and then right in the middle there, I've got that dot. Yeah. Okay, and what we need to do is do an arch. Now, I always struggle with freehand, so I find the easiest thing to do is just find something that's roughly the right, it takes a bit of playing around with, but roughly circular, and simply go from the top of the line to the dot in the center. Not 100% sure about this one, but it'll have to do. Maybe the door was a bit too wide. I may have to bevel that out a little, but that's the basic premise to getting these Gothic arches. I think, to be truthful, what I might have to do is just pull it in slightly. That'll be too high, I'm guessing. I'll smooth these down a little, these little corners here. And this is planning on the fly. I mean, you can draw all these plans that you want, yeah, but until you actually start doing it and putting the things, you can never be 100% sure how it's going to turn out. So be prepared to make little adjustments on the fly. Yeah. And if I just take off those sharp corners at the bottom, it starts to take a lot more of a natural curve to it. Okay. So that's basically how you do these arches. Now the next thing you've got to do is plan out damage. Now this is my 7-inch side, and this is going to go next to here when I put them together. Yeah, so it's going to go next to there. Now what I want is damage at the top of this, but I want this, because it's a corner, I need to run the damage across the corner. And so what I'll do is I'll just line the pieces up. You'll notice that they're not perfectly level. Yeah, that's because I messed up cutting there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get my battle damage. I need it to go down, cut into this window, and then sort of come up here. So we'll go from here, and I'll draw down. I'll come, oh no, I need much further down. Cut into that window, bring it back up here, and then cut out there. Yeah, and that is how I do battle damage across a corner. Okay, and so if I spin these rounds for you, yeah, what you can see is like that. Yeah, you can see how the battle damage I've just done, get out of the way, mouse. Battle damage goes from one sheet to the other, and so when it goes in a corner, it's all perfectly lined up straight away. So the next one of planning and going from the from the sheets to the cardboard, cardboard, yeah, is the floors. Now I'm looking at the 7 side at the moment, yeah, and I know that this 7 side will run back 7 inches, okay, and so that's where my ground floor needs to run back to. So over here I've got one of my 4-inch wide baseboards that is -10mm factor in the size of these. Okay, you'll see as we put it together, or watch the other video for that. And all I'm going to do is dead simple. I'm going to get my 7 side, which I know runs to there, but this is going to sit in between the 7 side. This is this piece here, and it's going to sit between the 7 side and the sort of 5.5-inch side. Okay, now over here I have my 5.5-inch side already planned out for the inside doors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that there. Look, yeah. Basically, let me 1 second, guys. Right, let's clear that out. Don't need that right now. Okay, there's our baseboard, and it's going to run from the back of from the front of the building to the back. Now I need to make sure it lines up with these walls. So on this side I've got my 7 side, which is roughly that long, and on this side I've got my inside piece, which is 5.5 inches. Yeah, so I line those up with the front of the building, where the front of the building is going to be. I find my pencil, I do a mark there, and I do a mark there. Okay, and then a rough line across. And basically what we're going to be looking at is, yeah, when they're put together, and this is the base, we end up with this configuration. And so the base fits perfectly the walls, and they line up at the back. Oh, sorry guys. Yeah, so as you can see, yeah, they line up perfectly with that line. Right, that's enough of that. So we've talked about how to get damage around corners. We've talked about how to measure up your inner bases for your stability. Okay, next one is the inside walls. Now what I've done is I've pre-cut this. And going off this plan, yeah, I know that I want, this is a top-down view, I know that I want my inside wall to go back 1.5 inches, yeah, before the other wall. And so any doors I put in it have got to be further than 1.5 inches away from that, or they're going to simply cut into where this wall is. Okay, so what I've done is I've measured 2 inches in, then put a straight up. Then I've gone 1.5 inches across, yeah, because I want them as a wide door for 60mm models, yeah, and for 60mm bases, not 58mm models, for God's sake, they won't fit through. And another line. And then at the bottom, yeah, I put 5mm for that floor, yeah, this one here that we did. Yeah, I've then got a 2.5 inch, sorry, a 1.5 inch, no, that's 2. No, that's 1.5. Right. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Basically, yeah, we're looking at 2.25 inches up, plus 1/4 inch. Then we're going for, sorry, 2.5 inches up, plus plus another half for the three floors, 5mm for the next floor. Okay, and then the next door, and then this bit is going to have to be cut because this is going to have a floor on it. But for that, what we're going to do is we're going to plan it on the fly. So I'll show you that when we come to the construction. But basically, all I'm going to have to do is cut these doors out, yeah, and then they'll be ready to form up the, as I'm facing it, the right-hand wing of the building. So that's the basic planning down, okay, and it's all been done with, you know, these tools and a pencil and my watch-up plans. Now it comes to actually cutting the stuff out. Now, a lot of this stuff is done with rulers, a lot of this stuff is done freehand. You're going to need a hobby tool, yeah. As long as you can control it and it's sharp, it doesn't really matter which. Now what I'm going to do straight off is do a window for you. Okay, now you can, yeah, get a ruler, run, and then simply run your blade down it. Okay, but the risk of with this is your ruler obscures the lines where you need to start and finish on these pieces. Yeah, guys. And so what I like to do is basic sculpting tool, yeah, or anything with a sharp point, is just come along very quickly, just put some holes in the corners. Phone's going off today. Yeah, and you can literally do this all the way along. Well, that's slightly off. Okay, what that lets me do, yeah, is if I bring that up to you, yeah, you can just about see the little holes. Here's when I'm using my ruler, and there's no pins in this one, yeah, but when I'm using my ruler, I can just line it up and I can go dot to dot. And so I don't have to worry about overcutting. Now, when it comes to cutting, remember these things are sharp, so watch your fingers. Yeah, you want to get as close to the cardboard close to the foam board as possible for a proper cutting technique. And don't try and do it all in one go. Yeah, you're not going to. Okay, move on to the next one. And I can feel it clumping underneath. I think I've got something on my blade. I'm guessing I've picked something, or there's a bit of glue on that. Yeah, and then across the bottom. And I'm just running dot to dot here, which stops me over cutting it. Yeah, now this bit is the more challenging bit because you have to do this freehand. Okay, so my advice to you is start off very gently and just cut through the cardboard. Yeah, because that way you can maintain a lot of control. There's very little forces involved. And you get it nice and neat. And don't be afraid to swizz the cardboard round. Quite often I'll go one way all the way, then spin it round and do the other way. Yeah, it's better that you move the material around you when you're doing this, so you're cutting in a comfortable position, than get yourself in awkward positions to get cuts in. Now what I'm doing basically here is I am just going very gently and I'm just letting the blade follow the crease as best as I can. You get to a point where you can literally tell you're cutting into the cutting surface underneath. Now this is very naughty. Alright, so let's have a look. Oh, just a little down at the bottom. So this is where I'd spin them all round. So I'd go all the way one way, then I'd spin them round and then just quickly into these creases because I know these are already there. No need for a ruler. And I'd just cut up from the other corner. And then spin it round again for the other corner. What that should do is, oh, trim that off. Yeah. It gives a nice Gothic arch. Okay. Now you'll get little flecks in it, and to be truthful, this looks like the foam that they've put into it wasn't complete, because that's not the tearing that you get from when you use the wrong technique. That's tearing from like a bit of foam that didn't form into foam properly. Okay, so that's why. So that's going to run all the way through this, so I'm going to have to patch that up. Yeah, unfortunately nothing I can do about it. Don't worry about if you do go into it. We're going to use filler and we're going to smooth all these out later, so it's not going to be a problem. Okay, so the other thing that you need to do is things like damage. Now, the damage is obviously a lot easier, yeah, because you just simply do it. Yeah, and very much like before, you don't have to follow your lines perfectly. It's just an impression of where you need to go when it comes to damage. Carve through again. Yeah, and then put a bit of weight into it. And there we are. So that's the damage done. And if we go over to the other side that we did, I think we only did just a little bit of damage on the 7 side. Yeah, so I will quickly cut this out. Yeah, through the cardboard first. And then deeper cuts to actually cut it through. Oh, that's ripped. I'm going to have to replace this blade, guys, before I do any more. Well, I'll do a little bit, but there's something on there and that's ripping. Right. And there you have it. That's how they'll go together and they'll meet. Okay? And don't worry about that. Oh, that looks a bit weird and that sort of stuff. We've got more work to do on this. Yeah, if you're thinking it's quite a fragile angle. So we've covered how to do, what you call it, we've covered how to cut out the windows and, you know, spinning it round so you can work from each corner. We've shown you how to do the doors and everything. Battle damage. Yeah, now when it comes to cutting out these sort of things, yeah, and these are fire ports. Yeah, they've been holes blown through by the defender that when you put a floor in, they're going to be about gun height to chest height, so they'll be able to shoot through fire ports. Okay, and it is very much similar like doing the windows, except that it's, you know, there's no need to do pins or anything, but the first job is just simply work it round and just take the cardboard off. Yeah, and then get in with your blade and you're going for the center bit. Now this is I'm going to have to definitely change this blade. You can be rougher on these because the benefit is that they're battle damage. Where's not? Yeah, okay. All I'm doing is flipping it over and just seeing where it hasn't cut yet. And that was a bit of a pig's ear of a job of it, but that's fine. Yeah, and then afterwards, come in, and because the problem with these battle damages is the little the sort of skin of the cardboard doesn't look right. Yeah, so just get your blade and very gently cut around the outside. And you're not even aiming to cut halfway through. What you're aiming to do is give the outside hole a bit of a bevel. And this is what would happen. You'd smash off fragments of the outside, of course, as you were going through. It wouldn't just be a straight, perfect hole. Yeah, my blade's a lot sharper near the as it moves further up. There's something wrong with the tip. So even so, I've said that I'm soldering off. Yeah, let's just go up here. Yeah, and as you can see straight away, yeah, it's got more of a damaged hole look to it. Okay, and what I'm going to do is flip it over and do exactly the same on the other side just to clean it up. It's a lot easier this side for some reason. Probably because I've got the technique down this time. Yeah. Right, there's a void there, so I'll just take that a bit further. Yeah, and then I can just... Yeah, and then just run your finger through it a little bit. What you end up with is a hole, and that is battle damage holes. Okay, a little bit there actually, because that's a bit. I can do better. And he screws it up on the last second. No, I'm screwing it up. Sorry about the language there. Right, but basically you see how we've changed just a hole into more of an explosion. Okay, and I'm going to do exactly the same with all the other holes and what I'm going to put into it. So guys, that's windows, that's how to do doors and Gothic arches, that's how to get damage around corners following your plan, that's how to measure up your floor bases to make sure that they run from wall to wall, that's how to do simple battle damage and sort of prep it before it goes together. Now what I'm going to be doing next is, well, very quickly I'm just going to have a quick check to make sure that I've covered everything. Yeah, I've covered everything I wanted to cover in this one. I'm going to finish off cutting all these bits out and a few other bits that aren't on the table, like this lot. Okay, but I'll do that this evening, yeah, because I've shown you what I want to show you. In the next video, what we're going to be covering is we'll be looking at actually basic construction and putting the walls of this together and the floors, hopefully. Yeah, and basically getting the main building up and ready. And we'll talk about joins and the best glues and all that sort of stuff. Right, in the meantime, I hope you've liked this bit. If you have, then throw a like on it. You know, if you like terrain in general and you're new to the channel, subscribe, guys. There's a link coming up here somewhere. Yeah. Obviously, if you really want to do me a favor, yeah, share this about with your mates. Yeah, let's all get building better battlefields. Yeah. Also, any comments or questions or tips or experiences, put them in the comments. And anyone watching this, if you're serious about this stuff, make sure you also look through the comments. Yeah, because there's loads of good advice, and a question you may have may already have been answered. And if it hasn't, post it there and I'll give you my best answer I can. Anyway, guys, I've got to go get the kids in a minute, so you have a good day. I'm going to just pull this up. I'll see you soon, guys. All the best. Ta-da. Where are you, dumb cursor? Bye.